Alright, so this part of the process is kegging the cold brew. So the cold brew has already been sitting for 24 hours. We're going to put it in the kegs. It's going to take 5 kegs with a full batch, because each of these are going to fill about 2.5 kegs. And these are between 4 to 5 gallons each. Now these kegs were already cleaned and sanitized, so they're good to go. We already got the stems for them right here. We're going to need tubes for them to drain. Alright, so we got 2 tubes here, and we're going to connect them up to the vats, the spigots. Now these are the same roast, so it's not really a big deal with any of them. Once in a while you might need to do 2 different roasts because of the amount of beans you have. And if that's the case, keep 2 kegs separate, so it's each of these, and then the last keg you'll combine it and you'll need to mark it as such afterwards. Okay, so we got that in there, and this is a gravity flow, so once you start moving the spigots open, then it'll start using gravity to go in there. You'll want to make sure that it doesn't overflow. So one of the things you got is a flashlight, so that you can shine down and at least see what level you're at with these, which right now obviously they are empty. So let's go ahead and turn these on. And so that will take a little while to fill up, but in the meantime, grab a little bit of masking tape and a Sharpie, and we're going to make some labels. Try to get all the handles facing the same way, so it's just really easy. Just grab a small piece like this, and I usually, see the handle, I'll put it a little bit to the right, there's a little dot or a little hole on top, and I put the bottom of it just over that, and I put it on the rim. Because we're going to write what roast this is, along with the date. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's alright. Customers aren't really going to be seeing this. Alright, and when it comes to writing the date, so you'll write today's date, and then you will also write 3 months from now. So for example, today is the 21st of June, so it's 6/21, and I'm also going to write 9/21, because that's 90 days out. That's 3 months. And that's technically how long cold brew can stay good for in these kegs once they're sealed up and refrigerated properly. Now, we obviously try to never wait that long to use the cold brew, and we don't make so much that we can't, we don't make so much cold brews that it takes that long to get through. Actually, I need this one to be on a little more. This one didn't fill up as fast. But yeah, so we usually try to use them up in less than a month. And if everything goes right, it should definitely be less than a month for you to get through 5 kegs at 2 locations, by all means. Okay. No, don't turn that on. Turn this one off, silly. Cool, so now these are pretty much full. I can't really show you that easily with the camera, but I'm looking and it's like up to this crevice area, a little bit less than that, because I want to make sure I have enough room to stick the stem all the way down in there, and that way it doesn't overflow. Kind of like if you fill up a soap bottle a little too much and then put the top in, it might overflow. You don't want that to happen. Not a big deal, it just makes a mess. Don't want to create messes, you know? So now, I'm going to pull this up out of the cold brew. Make sure I don't have any drips coming off of it. Put it in the next one. Same thing with this. Next one. All right, let's open them up. There they go. And so now I can show you the stemming. So you'll just stick this down in there. And to start, I just hand tighten it. There's little pieces that stick out, so that's easier to grab. And then once it gets a little tight, I just stop for a moment because I'll use the tool to fully tighten it up. The ratchet. And that is this guy. It has the 4 openings to be able to let the keg stem. No, that's what it is. Like there's 2 little pieces that'll go in either these 2 or these 2 or whatever. And make sure you have it on the tightness setting, righty tighty, lefty loosey. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up some. You don't have to worry about having gorilla strength for this. Alright, I'm just tightening that down. Because the other thing is if you tighten it too hard, it's going to be really hard to take it off when you go to clean it later. Alright, so now with the Sharpie I'm going to put COL for Columbia. And I'm going to put today's date, 6/21. And then under it I'm going to put 9/21. COL 6/21, 9/21. COL 6/21. And notice I'm doing this while it is filling. And the reason for that is because we are trying to be efficient with our time. Alright, so this one filled up way faster than that one, so I'm going to close that off. And while I'm waiting for the other one, I can just go ahead and shift this over. Next one. And turn that back on. That one was full enough, so we'll close this. Get it ready to go. Alright, so you can see that that one is already emptying. Now that you're into the last one here, let's go ahead and take these gallons off. And see if we can lean this one forward a bit. Yep, so I'm getting some more in there. See how I just changed how the tube was laying? That's what helps with that gravity pull. So now more is going into it. And now I can hear that it's actually fully emptying. And so is that one, but we haven't leaned this one yet. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to remove the tube and hold it up so that way gravity pushes the rest of it in. And I'll go ahead and put this in the sink because we're going to need to rinse it out. So let's go ahead and try to lean this one. Let's see if we can get any more. There we go. Now we got it siphoning out. I don't know if you remember, but we went ahead and put those resale stickers on there. So sometimes you gotta make sure to take those off. So the other thing you're gonna have to do is, since there's those giant bags of coffee, you're gonna need to probably roll one of the trash bins from outside over to be able to lift it up and actually throw it away straight into that, because that's honestly the easiest easiest and best way to do it. Using a trash can in the building is not really a good way to take care of it or to get or to discard it. So go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off, get it ready to rinse out, and then I'll go ahead and get a trash can to get rid of the coffee bags, and I'll make another clip for how we're going to rinse everything out. Alright, so before I forget, I already finished putting all of the stems in and tightening them up and labeling all of them with the COL 6/21 and 9/21 for this one. Like if it's Watt, you use GUAT or whatever you need to use. Brazil, just write Brazil. And the other thing is, these gallons that we had on top of the vats, go ahead and set them over by the sink, because that way we can use the water that's in there as part of the rinsing process that I'll show you. And that's also because we don't really want to store gallons of water up on the shelf. We just want to have the empty plastic jugs. And the other thing is, after this is all done, stay in there. Whatever. We're going to open this up. And right now we have a system that is the furthest left and closest to you is the first one that you use. Right now there's only one left that's in there, which is totally fine. And that's why we have the next batch ready to go. So that way once that's used, probably by the end of the weekend, this is going to go. You're going to want to lift these up. This is the hard part because it is pretty heavy. I mean, this is 4 to 5 gallons of liquid, the cold brew, along with the metal of the keg. So you're going to want to lift it up. Make sure you use your legs, not just your back. Lift it up. Put it in. And make sure the handle with the label is closest to you and left. So that way there's always an angle when you're putting it in, so that way they're all looking the same. It should be uniform. Oh, this is not very full. That was the last one that we did. We ended up not having very much of that one. So that's the last one. That's okay. All right. Just 2 more. Cool. Just make sure you can see it. So they are all uniform. Notice how this label is here. The handles are here and here every single time. So that way we can keep everything really easy with this.